totally just give in. Okay, I get it. Like, I can't have fastest anymore. I really do need to change my life. And we've talked about this before, about how change is scary. And there was comfort in what I was doing, even though it was killing me. There was comfort in knowing, here's what I can expect today. I can go work. I can go be on the radio. I come home. I can close the door. And I can escape in my own mind. I can watch dumb TV shows and drink till I pass out. Wake up. I can do it all over again. And that's a sad, sad life. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. But I had to go through all of that to be where I'm at now. So it's catch-22. But I want to go back to the father. And, you know, you said you kind of caught some of that conversation. And you kind of felt the same. So, and I was kind of leery about this, but I'm glad I did do it. I shared with him a podcast that you actually did. You and my mom and my sister. And I started listening to it. And like the first 10 minutes, you guys were just joking around. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't even know, you know, if he listened to the podcast. But I also gave him my mom's phone number. And I was going to tell her about it, and then I forgot. I didn't forget. I just figured, you know, she'll figure it out. But he reached out to my mom, and, you know, he thanked me big time for that. And he said, you know, you were lucky that you had your mom, you know, in your corner. And absolutely. Yeah, I know that big time. And of course I shot back, yeah, you know, I made her a pro. I made her a pro at this kind of stuff. And, you know, she wasn't really trying to tell him too much about what to do, but she was just kind of there for him, you know, to go, look, I've been through it, you know, more support, you know, like, don't give up. You know, and I think that's what she told him was, you know, don't give up on them, and you can't scold them, you can't yell at them. You know, it's not them, it's their brain, and this is how it's working right now. And I think she did a great job, and I told her that, and she did say, why don't you go to this place? It's a horrible Chinese restaurant. And I was like, Mom, no, don't send them there. I was like, that's horrible. And, you know, so I had to shoot a message. I'm like, don't go to that place. It's horrible. It's a horrible Chinese restaurant. And so he wrote back and he's like, no, we're locked in on Skywood. I'm like, okay, good, because that place is amazing. Not that I want to go back, but if I had to.
Well, I think it's the same kind of thing with family members relating to other family members of people that are struggling in addiction is the same relationship that alcoholics and addicts have with one another.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we can talk to each other and talk about whatever, and it doesn't shock and shake us. You know, it's kind of like we can have a normal conversation about the craziest things, and it's just like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it. But, you know, when you're talking with somebody else, and it's this comfort factor, it's like not being scared to say the wrong words or, you know, kind of, you know, spill your guts, because that's what we're there for. And it's just, it's, you know, it's an amazing feeling to have that kind of freedom in your words and with your feelings with another person to share like that. And I think it's nice that, and there should be more of that, you know, family members being able to communicate with each other, because they can say, I've been there, my son or daughter, you know, put me through the ringer or whatever the case may be. And this is how I handled it, you know, and they're not all beautiful stories. They're awful stories, you know, and they're sad stories, and they're, you know, but they made it through. I mean, so far. And I know sometimes we kind of need to be careful, because we're talking about this like it's, you know, they still have to deal with us, you know, on a daily basis and stuff like that. But no, I mean, in terms of, they can say, like your mom could say to that gentleman or to the father, I know what you're feeling right now. I know that you're scared for your son and that you don't know what words to say.
She has empathy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's actually what sparked me giving him my mom's number. Was he said something about, I don't know, what can I do? Or, you know, he was like looking for advice for me, and I don't know, man. I'm on this side of the fence, you know, and that's when I thought, well, You know, do you like how I drag people into 217 recovery too? How it's just hey, and Chris Goss can attest to this, and you know, I was like, wait a minute, I was just gonna be on the show. Next thing you know, I'm like, come on, Chris, let's do the podcast. Now I'm like, hey, come on, Marty. And now my mom's gonna find out. Oh, hey, yeah, you're president of 217 recovery, one of them, and oh yeah, you're getting drug in too. But no, I think that's something that my mom could take pride in too, knowing that, you know, she didn't give up on me, and I'm doing stuff, and we're becoming successful, and you know, that's what she wants. And if she can help somebody else too, and she would have loved to have somebody, and maybe she did, I don't know, I don't think she did, have somebody that she could turn to that would understand, like you said, you know, I think my mom put it in a text to me, non-addict to non-addict, which of course I think everybody's addicted to something, versus addict to addict, and that's exactly what, you know, you were relating to is, you know, you and I can talk all day, we get it, we know, we understand, you know, but they could talk all day and we wouldn't get it, you know, and until, I don't know, I don't want to even say that, but so I'm not going to.
Well, I think that's a lot of the reason why 217 Recovery Podcast appeals to not just people that are in recovery, but the family members or the bosses, or, you know, whomever that is dealing with people with addiction, because it's almost like getting into our heads, you know, to hear like what we are thinking and how things work, and then kind of like, because we touch on stuff like this, you know, we talk about. It's not just about us and our daily life in recovery, but the people we come across and how, you know, we communicate with them, or, you know, situations just like you're talking about the family members, and because a lot of people don't know what to say, you know, and don't know who to reach out to. And so, I mean, they say recovery affects everyone, you know, it's not just the person, everyone that they interact with, it you know, affects them in some way, shape, or form. And almost always, 9 times out of 10, it's always not in a great way, you know, for those hard times. So, yeah.
Yeah. We met with a guy today too. We'll switch topics to something I know you wanted to talk about. Huh?
It's not really switching.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. There you go. I'm excited about it. No, we went. Well, I'll let you tell the story.
Well, we actually, I came across meeting a gentleman by the name of Randy Burgess. He is a fantastic man. He works for Faith Reformed Church, and I came across him through personal things I was working on, reaching out for some help, and anyhow, we became kind of good friends, and I shared my story with him, and he, you know, was interested in hearing about myself and what I was doing with my life, that I'm now working with other alcoholics and addicts as my job in a treatment facility. And, you know, just the kind of the strides that I've made, and how, you know, through all that, you know, God's been a big part of that. You know, sometimes I feel like I don't bring my higher power up enough when I talk about my recovery, because it's always something, you know, my higher power is something that's always been a huge thing that I know has gotten me to where I'm at today. You know, I've had to put a lot of work into it. I put a lot of effort into it, but I also feel like I've gotten that strength from my higher power. You know, but he, you know, he knows, he's got his stories about, you know, people in recovery, because he works with the community in all different arenas. That church is a huge asset for Traverse City. I think it's Safe Harbor, I believe, is also. They work with them. Single mothers. I can't remember the name. I apologize. But all different kinds of agencies, nonprofit agencies. They help them out. They do community dinners, I do believe, on Thursdays, and all kinds of good stuff. So, but yeah, it was really interested in hearing about what we do and what we're all about. So we had an awesome conversation. We got to tour the church and all of their buildings that they have. They hold NA meetings there at Jacob's Well. Those are, I think, now just barely kind of starting up. They're being very COVID cautious, but they're, so things are starting to take shape again with their services and so on. But he was an amazing person to talk to and had a lot of good things to say about what we were doing. He recognized and commended our efforts and totally agreed, like, what we're doing is really pertinent to being out there and helping people, and he was really proud of us. So it meant a lot. It was a really good meeting. We gave him a shirt. Yeah. He's rocking the 217 Recovery Podcast shirt.
He's like, what am I going to hear when I listen to this? It depends which one you listen to.
Yeah, right.
Some are more serious, some are goofy, sometimes I don't know. They're all over the board, but that's what keeps it fresh too in my mind, because we could sit here and we could do the same show over and over and over, and I don't know. To me, that's boring. I don't want to do that. And sometimes it feels like it, but it doesn't. Every day is different, and we pretty much open up and talk about our day. And Rodney was great. Randy was great, and hopefully we do stuff in the future. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. Mm-hmm. And our faith is all that, not all that we can lean on, but something that we can lean on for sure. And, being spiritual like I am, it's a good feeling to have other people in the community back you, and, to give credit to God. Mm-hmm. And, that's what we do. And great things have been happening for us. And so why would we stop?
Right. And I mean, I think it kind of just reminded me, like I was saying, I don't know if I talk about it enough, and I don't know. I guess just how people in general view or think about what part or what piece that their higher power plays in their recovery, because for me it's huge. I pray. I don't get down on my knees and pray. I pray all the time. Like I'll pray when I'm in the shower. I'll pray when I'm making breakfast. There's no schedule or anything, but I kind of just like talk to God about, what's going on with me and kind of, what I need help with, and just my gratefulness most of all is just what I'm grateful for, and the thank yous for everything that I have in my life today. Just to recognize that. And, I think it's just important. For me, it's important. I mean, I think everybody in their recovery is different, but, whatever he didn't even come across as like pushing religion. I don't think that people need to, really, what do they call that? Pigeonhole, what it is that they believe in. It's not like, if whoever your God is, I'm cool with that. Whoever it is that you is your higher power, is, hey, go for it. As long as you're believing in something that's, bigger than you, then that you can draw strength from, then, that's the whole deal. So.
Yeah. So it was a good day.
It was a great day.
And Thursday, and it was Thursday. And I think I had mentioned in my last, maybe I didn't. I don't know, because I know I interviewed Jewel from the Daily Recovery Zone in Pawpaw on Thursday about the event that they're having in September. And I thought I mentioned that we were reviewed, our podcast got reviewed in this podcast where these guys actually they're called Those Guys from Wichita. Yeah. And that takes me a minute. I'm horrible names, but they